There's something that I thought I would just drop this because I'm seeing how, okay, as usual, if you've actually looked back to World War One, World War Two, as usual, the journalists are in New York are very upset that everyone's pointing out how well all this FTX stuff seems to be a way that you can launder money through something that the Democrats like, Ukraine, and the Ukraine war and all the bloodshed and all the Nazis and stuff. We're correct about that. The right is correct about this. This is how people don't understand that. I don't get the neo-Nazis of Ukraine. They're filtering the money through all that action and into the Democratic Party via crypto exchange scam. And now it's all falling apart, just like the BLM scam. That all this money went through Act Blue, and it didn't go to BLM. And what did, it seems, just bought off the leaders, and now the leaders are going to have to deal with whatever they're going to have to deal with, which probably won't be big deal consequences. They're probably going to get looked out for. Even though that as well was something that had been exposed as a scam like years prior, when with the whole Ferguson thing, with all the people who got scammed out of money they were promised by D. Ray McKesson. So everybody knew who was aware of BLM. Like, they were like, no, this is a grift. This is totally a grift, and there's something really weird going on because this guy D. Ray McKesson is super weird. Well, so now it's becoming more and more and more obvious. There's really this college-educated middle class that are funding what is the progressive or the kind of the socialist revolution, and a lot of it is straight up just it's fraud. They're committing fraud. They're cheating in every possible way. That everything says that no, these people are literally just laundering money, committing fraud, and then putting money into things in ways that are totally illegal, and because to them it doesn't matter. The whole process, everything following the rules, doesn't matter to them. They see how all of this is some it's worthy of breaking all the rules and cheating and lying and stealing and ruining people's lives and having cities burned down. It's worth it. It's a sacrifice that's worth it in their very well-educated minds. So everybody who this is all going horrible for, everybody who this is sucking for, you've lost people, you've lost friends, you've lost family, you've lost money. You have to understand that's a worthy sacrifice for these Democrats, these people who keep ends. For Hassan, Hassan needs his expensive house. Vaush has to get paid. So you have to sacrifice. You have to get pushed onto the tracks of a subway. Not them. They won't be. They're not going to be they're not some dumb schlub who takes the subway. Oh no, that's not safe. Subway's not safe. Why would you take the subway? So, what the interesting part about I'm finding, especially with the young left, and this is just generally with young people, is this weird way that they think they know things about history when most likely probably about 8 out of 10 young people graduate high school right now probably can't tell you, if you were to say the name Thurgood Marshall, they probably couldn't tell you who that was. Even though that should be something that's not that long ago. So it's really this issue now of when you know how communism and various all forms of socialism, all forms of whether it's fascism or National Socialism, these always are funded by the literate class. Hold on. universities are always funded by the literate class. That it just is the way it is, and big investment. So, in a way, one of the things I just want to maybe I'll just kind of make a call like. So BlackRock was buying, but you see, BlackRock still can wait. BlackRock can wait for Portland to just totally keep collapsing, and then clean up. I mean, like, who's that? There's commercial industrial giants that they're going to clean up at the end of this. It's gonna get all fucked up, and then they're going to be able to clean up. They're going to be able to buy a lot of assets very, very cheap because they'll have the money for that, and they're in with the Democratic Party. And a lot of people, and you'll be forgotten. All of you who rioted and got, and did just, you're all, no, you'll be forgotten. You'll be like 40 years old. When all of a sudden, as things turn around, you'll just be these olds who are like, oh man, things are so much. Why was things weren't this good when I was in my 30s? Because it was Shitsville, because we kept rioting all the time, and we ruined everything. So, the revolution is never from the bottom up. It happens at certain levels above the normal people. It happens at some levels above that. Every once in a while you get something like what happened with the new right. That wasn't just normal people on the right. That was a different end of the right wing. And it was also a lot of people who were not right wing. They were on the left, and they were finding it lacking at a certain point. And they drifted over to this area of thinking that this isn't some opposite thinking. These were a place where people were discussing things that a wide variety of subjects that were just simply verboten to discuss. That's all really the alternative right began as. All these things of people dressing up the same and showing up places and stuff, that kind of became more of a cult of personality, as I like the way Milo kind of defined that. That became based around certain cults of personality in a way. And has a lot to do with Ukraine. Oddly enough, a few of those people ended up going to Ukraine, but nobody remembers that news story. Nobody will remember it. Who got caught going to Ukraine? Who got prosecuted going to Ukraine? So collectivism is very, very, very profitable for major corporations. The anarcho-syndicalists will never win because they're unlikable, they stink, they think they're smarter than they are, and a lot of them are really not good at work. They can't get any, they're not good at work. They're just not good at a thing called work. So they don't matter in a way. And then there's the weird thing of people don't get, you can't collectivize people who don't see themselves as a collective. Blacks kind of see themselves as a collective but don't act as a collective. Like there's all these things that they don't do as a collective that are like really peaceful, functional things, where Chinese people kind of see themselves as a collective in the United States. And if you were to put them together, there would be no massive fight. There wouldn't be weaves flying everywhere. There wouldn't be sandals and fucking purse dogs flying all over the place. Purse dogs. Cute hats, cute sandals, and purse dogs. That's and really expensive handbags. So the Hispanic people are of widely different groups, and that's one that the Democrats trying to treat them as a collective has gone horribly wrong for them. And so this is really this thing of this is something that people think they're seeing it from some enlightened point of view at 10,000 feet in the air with their college education and Yankee principles, but they don't really get, like, they just don't get it. They don't observe the world around them. They're these personal truth, like subjective personal truth type of people. So they don't observe. They don't have observantia. They are operating on interest, on their interest in a subject, not on observing it. That's why you had all these Gen Xer and millennial kind of quasi Buddhists, like, until they figure out, like, how Buddhism does have very kind of strict tiers about that are quite obvious about society, and that the Buddha himself is one of the, Buddhism is based. When you really get into, like, pith texts, it's based. So, yeah. So, just wanted to put that out there. That I'm finding this fascinating. These people are the cycle continues. It just keeps rhyming and rhyming. It's a tune that keeps rhyming. Where all these journalists and the Democratic Party, the fucking Yankees, trying to rip everybody off and then just and clean up again, be like, oh, look at this crisis that was caused by the Republicans and their crazy orange man, and the horrible Russian terror, bald man, oh, bald man and orange man, we're such good people, oh, we were trying to save the blacks, but we couldn't do it, and they all died in the chaos, oh, it's just such a tragedy, it's like, honestly, that just how it's even like the South Park Operation, was it Blacks in Front or something? Black soldiers, like, wait, what? Turkeys up front or something like that. And I just think about, like, yeah. And Trade NBD has me giggling, and Hood have me giggling sometimes about some of this stuff that's now popping up about, wait a second, you mean a lot of black people have issues with Jews, and it's just like, oh, and then that's there. I'll end it with that. SNL was racial humor. That's how it started. It was jokes about blacks, Jews, Puerto Ricans, white people. This is amazing how, like, not knowing shit is required to be woke. Like, not knowing about anything prior to some section of these people's childhoods. I'm blown away. Like, I'm like, that's what SNL, that's the kind of joke SNL would have on it. That's the point. SNL had the edgiest people in the history of comedy in American, like, what are you not getting? The only thing that they couldn't do, the reason why it's on so late, is because of the kind of humor they were doing. They are why you are allowed to even have swear words on anything at all. Like, what is wrong with you fucking kids? Fuck, it was just so mutated. And it has something to do with their whack ass mamas. It's their mamas were whack. That's what it was. Their mamas were fucking whack. And you can't help that. There's nothing you can do when your mama was whack. You just grow up kind of with whack tastes and whack understandings of shit. But oh well.